Hi guys, I'm Ashley, nice to meet you. This is just a vlog of a 1 month post-op of an ACL and meniscus repair. So about 4 weeks ago now I underwent my surgery to repair my meniscus and my ACL. The history behind it was I was playing football, playing sport. It was last March of 2020, a week before lockdown, which wasn't an ideal situation to kind of have an injury of this magnitude. But what I did was I jumped up for a header. Whilst I was in midair, the person behind me, the person in the opposite team was taking me out, took my legs underneath me, and I landed awkwardly, where I hyperextended my legs. So instead of landing with a bent knee, I landed the complete opposite way. Something really hurt in my knee. I didn't really feel a pop. I know there's a lot of people saying that they felt a pop when they've torn their ACL or done any further damage. I didn't feel a pop. All I felt was just an instant warmth of pain just surround my knee. And then within about 10 to 15 minutes after the adrenaline wore off, my knee just came out and looked like an absolute balloon. I'm just here to talk about my experience, so a bit of experience of leading up to the surgery, and then also the experience of me after the surgery. So before the surgery, it was a very long process because of the coronavirus and the pandemic, with the overwhelm of our National Health Service. So that kind of delayed things. There was a time where I didn't really hear anything back off the doctors for a good 6 to 7 months, which wasn't really ideal. Got referred by my doctor to go and have a scan on my knee, which didn't happen. I couldn't really not live my life and not go to work, so I went to work. Nothing happened for about 4 to 5 months. I bent down in work and my whole knee just cracked. I must have felt about 3 or 4 cracks within my knee. My knee ballooned up straight away. So that night I went to A&E. I had an x-ray. They found nothing on the x-ray, and then they sent me and referred me for a ultrasound. The ultrasound came back. They said there was nothing wrong. Did say that I do require more tests. So around about Christmas time, January, Christmas, I went for an MRI scan. Results came back, said I had a full rupture on my ACL and a part torn meniscus. So after that, when I found out the results, that's when my mind started becoming a little bit more at ease, because before I was in the unknown. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I don't know what I've done. Why is my knee hurting all the time? It shouldn't be hurting for this long. I shouldn't be this unstable. So as soon as I found out, I knew what happened to me and what injury I had, my mind started being at ease, because one thing what I couldn't accept is that I wasn't playing football. I wasn't doing the sport I love every single week, because I had to take a full step back from it. I didn't play football, and I still haven't played football since March 2020, the week before lockdown, so still haven't kicked a ball. So as soon as I found out that what I did, I could transition into different roles. So started coaching the team, started more of a leadership role in that sense, trying to coach and trying to just be involved as best as I can. I feel like that's one thing, if you do have the injury from a sport, is that please keep involved within that sport. Don't just completely switch off from it, because it's not good for this. Yeah, it's not good for your mental health. Leading up to the surgery, I still kept active. I still went to the gym. I still did rehab before my surgery. And most people thinking, why are you doing rehab before your surgery? Because I promise you, it helps. It helps with your recovery. So if you are a month off, you're 2 weeks off, or whatever duration you're off with your surgery, you need to get into the gym. You need to do home exercises. Just try and get as best range of motion as you can. Even if I still tore my ACL and my meniscus, and I could still fully extend my leg, and I could bring my knee right back to my glute as well, like this. This is my non-operated leg, by the way. So I could still do all that whilst I had a torn meniscus and torn ACL. So please, if you are not doing anything and you are in the same position where I was and you're still waiting for your surgery, you need to do something. It does help. It's helped me absolutely massively, because there's a such thing called muscle memory, and what your muscles were like before, and then after your surgery and you start activating them again, it's easier for your muscles to rebuild back to where they was. Whereas if you didn't do anything beforehand, you've got no muscle memory there or anything of the sort to kind of reprogram and think, right, okay, I can activate these again. and also helps with your range of motion as well. That was my experience for my before my surgery. When I did get the surgery, I couldn't go with anybody else. They wouldn't let me because of COVID, and the area which we was in, the cases were high. My surgery did get rescheduled again, well, under the circumstance that I had to come on my own. So I came on my own. I had to be at the hospital for 11 a.m. Didn't eat anything at all throughout the night, or I think the last thing I ate was probably about 11, half 11 at night. It is hard, but it is something that you've got to do because the medication they give you and stuff like that, they've required you to have an empty stomach. So I got to the hospital at 11 o'clock. When I get there, the nurses, the doctors and everyone involved, physio, was really, really nice. They ensured me that the operation and the procedure would be absolutely fine and perfect, which it was. I opted for a epidural, so it would be an injection within your spine to numb anything from your waist down, so basically you can't feel anything. And then I was put under anaesthetic, so I was put asleep throughout the process. Went down to the theatre probably around about 2 p.m. To my guess, probably didn't start the operation till around about 2:30. When I woke up after the surgery, it was about 4:15. After I had my surgery, went back up to the room, so they took me back up there. They give me food, they give me drink, water, and then the surgeon came in after that and said everything went smoothly, everything went perfect. So that was a sense of relief for myself. I was supposed to go home that same evening, around about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, but the epidural didn't wear off. I still didn't have really that much feeling within my legs. They tried standing me up and I couldn't stand up. I didn't even feel like my feet were touching the floor. That's how numb they were. It is very common for the epidural not to wear off. So they said, right, you can stay overnight. We'll keep an eye on you. We'll monitor you. Went to sleep. Probably woke up around about 5 a.m. With the nurse waking me up to give me some more medication. And then she allowed me to go back to sleep. Next day, when I did wake up fully, the epidural wore off. I could feel everything was back to normal. You will go home probably about 10 a.m. so make sure you text somebody or message somebody to come pick you up. Let someone come pick me up. They give me a lot of discharge information, a lot of medication, things that I had to do at home to keep on top of. That leads into my week one. So week one was basically it's just resting. There's not much you can do as much. The only thing I'd say to focus on would be trying to get your legs straight as best as you can. So popping your leg up on things, putting it on pillows or putting it on a stool or having a towel underneath your ankle. Just exercises they give you, basically just pumping your ankle, trying to get the blood flow to them. See if you can do a leg raise. Very common exercises what they do give you. They'll give you a sheet. If some exercises you can't do them. Yeah, don't force yourself to do something you can't do. Your body only allows you so much and everybody's different. Week 2 was probably the hardest week of the whole experience. I got an infection on my shin bone. So where the incision is the incision is from the top of my knee down here. At the bottom, round about there, I had a full red blotch, like a patch on there. What I did was I thought that doesn't look right, and the pain was one of the worst experience of pains I've ever had in my life. I couldn't even stand up, couldn't put weight on it or anything like that. So I went straight down to the hospital, got seen by a doctor. He gave me prescribed me with some antibiotics. After about 48 hours, the pain went. But he just said, make sure you finish the course. So I think I didn't finish the antibiotic course for between about 5 to 6 days. So I finished the course, and then after that pain went, everything started getting a little bit easier. My staples out. So I had my staples out, and when I had the staples out, that's when I could start actually bending my knee a little bit more. The staples restricting the movement. They restrict the movement because, one, they're there so that the incision doesn't open back up. But as soon as I got the staples out, I just felt a big relief in my knee, and I was like, "Ooh, that feels good." So everything past there was just was a lot better. So week 3, that's when I could actually build up on my exercises. So between that time, I saw a physio. Well, I didn't see them, they rang me up and video called, moved me on to some exercises which required a little bit more weight bearing. I had to weight bear from week 1 really. I didn't get a brace, I didn't get anything like that. They basically said, right, because of the rehab you did beforehand. Week 3, again, doing the exercises. This is where I moved on to 1 crutch. So instead of having 2, I moved on to 1, could I move around the house. Then my next target was trying to move up and down the stairs. So instead of moving down the stairs as in like one and going down one step and putting your foot next to the other one. So my objective was kind of go up the stairs as just an orthodox way, and now I can get up and down the stairs. I wouldn't say perfectly, but I can get them down up and down the stairs smoothly. So that's another thing. That's one goal I ticked off. And I feel like it's very important setting yourself goals, because it's a sense of achievement. Can I, by week 3, can I be walking with one crutch? By week 4, can I move up and down the stairs? By week 5, can I walk without crutches? So these little things, what you need to set targets for yourself, because it will motivate you and move you on to try things. Week 4, yesterday, I drove for the first time, which was delightful, because the past few weeks I felt like I was a lot of being reliant on other people to do things for me or try and help me, and I'm not really that person to ask people to help me. I can kind of do it myself, and I want to do it myself. I'm very independent, but being able to get into my car and get around, and of course giving my car a run out as well, because it hasn't moved for 4 weeks. There's just one thing where people might ask questions in terms of why did you go for the surgery. The reason why I went for the surgery was because I didn't want a short-term fix, I wanted a long-term fix. The reason for that, and you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean by that? So the short-term fix was that I didn't opt for the surgery. I would focus on rehab and try and build the muscles around. From research and just from common knowledge, that when you get older, your muscles become weaker. In the long term, I would, if I did in, for example, 10 to 15 years time, I started having family, I started having children, grandchildren, etc., that I could kind of do things a bit more freely and not being in pain with my knee as much. With my job as well, I do a lot of coaching, I do a lot of education, I work with children a lot, and when you do coach and you teach and stuff like that, you have to get down to their level, you have to kneel down, you have to bend down, you have to do a lot of demonstrations. So I just feel like for me, from my position and my standpoint, that the operation, the surgery, at the age I'm at now, which I'm 26-year-old, probably would have been the best solution for me. So that's my answer to why did you opt for it. Some people might be different, they might not want to opt for it, and that's completely fine, that's completely up to you. But if I wanted to return to sport with a fully ruptured ACL and a torn meniscus, which was the meniscus which was causing me the pain, I had to do what I had to do, and my surgeon did say that I would recommend you going for the surgery, and that I had a very mature response in terms of the short term and the long term fix. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some exercises what you can do. What I've done at the minute is I've bought some resistance bands, so I've moved on to resistance bands. At first I was using my body weight, and then now just to kind of activate their muscles a little bit more to get them growing. Best of luck with your recovery. I hope you smash it, and I know you will smash it. Again, good luck, and if you do have any experienced stories or comments or anything of the sort, or questions, just pop them down in the comment section. So enjoy the exercises. This one is just basically like a little bit like a side plank. So what you want to do, so operated leg, depending which side you are on, your operated leg needs to be on the outside. So this is my operated leg, so my outside will be this way. All you need to do is just lie flat, probably pop your elbow up. So I'm going to show you this way first. So pop your elbow up like that, so you're resting, and all you're doing is just bringing up your leg like that to try and focus on your hip flexors and your bit of your glutes as well. Again, repetitions are important, so between 10 to 12 reps, about 3 to 4 sets, and if you can, over time, try and see if you can put the balance and keep your operated leg on the inside. But if you can't do that, just focus with the operated leg on the outside. Again, as the weeks go by, don't try and neglect your other leg as well, because that is as important as well. So this exercise is just going to be a single leg raise. So I'm going to use a resistance band for this one. All you need to do, just wrap it round the bottom of your ankles. Make sure your feet are about shoulder width apart. You can either choose to put your hands back and support you that way and just bring your leg up. You probably want to do around about 10 to 12 reps with a little rest. I would say probably about 20 to 30 second rest and then go again. Or you can choose to lie back as well. So you can probably lie back on the floor and then bring it up to get that extra full stretch. So again, between 10 to 12 reps on a single leg, and also do it on the other leg as well, because you don't just want to leave this one as it is. Try and do it on this one as well, because again, this is also for balance and support, and you don't want to leave this one neglected. Okay, so do it on both legs. So this one is a little bit like the leg extension exercise, what you can find in the gym. You need one wrap round, so the operated leg, wrap round this one, and then just all you need to do is just place it underneath your foot. It looks a little bit like that. Now you're going to do is you're going to sit down on a chair, and you're just going to bring your leg forward to full extension, and then bring it back. And this is just trying to activate the muscles in the quads, so the quadricep muscles. Again, same thing, between 10 to 12 exercises. Can you do 3 to 4 sets? If you can't do 10 to 12, just try as much as you can to do as best as you can. Okay, again, do not neglect the other leg. Try and focus on the other leg as well. Okay, fantastic. What we've done at the minute is we've gone through different muscles within the leg, and this one is probably one of the most important ones, is to try and get your glutes activated. So if you can, find a soft surface to kneel down on, and if you can't, just try and see if you can. If you can't do that, you can choose to opt to lie down as well. Resistance band in the leg, operated leg, just bring it up as best as you can. And this will activate a bit your hamstring and also your glutes as well. So again, two options: you can either lie down or kneel down like so, and then just bring your leg up like that. It's whatever you feel comfortable doing. So there, a few exercises what you can do for your legs, and I'm going to finally show you a calf one as well. So again, we've worked and isolated different parts of the leg, and now it's also important to do your gastrocnemius, if you want to call it scientifically, or your calf. So this one is all you need to do is find a chair or find anything which is probably about waist height you can hold on to. Feet shoulder width apart, and all you're doing is you're just coming up onto your toes and then coming back down. This will activate your calf muscle. You might find something similar in the gym with the machine. What you're going to do, you're going to come up, hold it for about 1 to 2 seconds, and then come back down. What I don't want to see is you just doing this like a bunny rabbit, okay? Because it's not going to do anything. So bring it up, hold it, and then bring it back down. Again, 10 to 12 reps, 3 to 4 sets. Make sure you have a rest in between these exercises, because that is very important. Don't go from one exercise to the other exercise, as you're just going to fatigue yourself and you're going to get really, really tired. So they're just a few examples of some exercises what I have been given, or what I have kind of masked by doing a little bit of research online and what I've took from other people. Some I've modified as well. Go at your own pace. I'm not saying that you should be in the same position I am in at week 4. and somebody might be in a different position than me. Just do as much and as best as you can, and if you can't do it, don't try and force yourself to do it. Speak to people, speak to your physio, speak to your surgeons and stuff like that. So there is just a few exercises. As the weeks progress and the months progress, I will start doing more videos when I get the green light of me being able to go to the gym and show some exercises in there as well. So all the best of luck with your recovery, and please keep me updated on how you are doing. Fantastic. See you later, people.